Hey guys, so this is Miss Walker, your 8th grade math instructor. So I wanted to do this video especially for my students that learn by seeing and learn by doing. So we're going to discover something called the Triangle Sum Theorem together and what that means. But I want you to work with me. So what you're going to need is a couple of supplies. So let me show you what I'm working with. So you're going to need a sheet of paper, any paper. You might want a pencil, to draw out, and, if you need to erase or something, you'll be able to erase. You'll need either a couple of flare pens or a highlighter or crayon or markers, whatever works best for you. And then I don't have a ruler with me, but I have a folded up piece of sticky note paper that's going to serve as my straight edge and to help me draw what I need to draw. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw 3 different triangles. You want them to be different sizes and different shapes, so you don't want them to look exactly the same. So I'm going to do that off camera so I can work with both of my hands, and I'll be right back. So these are my 3 triangles. I did leave a little space at the end because I'm going to end up cutting these triangles and I need a small space to do what I need to do in a moment. So the next thing you're going to do is take your highlighters or your markers or your flare pen, which is what I have. And I actually have 3 different colors. If you don't have different colors, maybe you could use different types of markings, maybe different number of markings or whatever works for you. I'm going to use 3 different colors to mark the 3 of my triangles. And so go ahead and do this for yourself and I'll come right back on camera. So as you can see, I have my 3 corners of each triangle marked and colored in. So the next thing I need to do is to cut out my 3 triangles. So go ahead and do this carefully. Try to follow the lines that you've drawn. And I'll come right back on camera in just a moment. So I have my 3 triangles cut out. I did leave a small piece of the blank paper on the side because I will need that in a moment. Now the next thing you're going to do is cut the corners of each of your triangles. Now make sure that you keep all 3 corners of the same triangle together and do not mix them up because they do have to stay together with the triangle that they belong to in order for this experiment to work. So I'll be right back and I'll be back on camera in just a moment. So I'm back with my corners cut out. So the next thing you're going to do is take each of these sets of corners and you're going to line them each up. I'm going to show you how to do one of them. And you're going to line them up so that each of their corners are touching each other. So the little, almost the V-like edges, we call those vertices or vertex for one. You're going to line them up where their corners are touching each other. So I'm going to do the first one on camera, and then I want you to try to do the other ones. You're lining them up where the corners are touching each other. They don't have to be perfect, but I am trying my best to do this on camera with one hand, but you're probably going to do much better with both hands. All right, so I've got that one done. I'm going to do the other ones off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, so they are all lined up. They're not absolutely perfect, but they are close enough. And if you notice, it doesn't matter what order I put the corners in. I've just lined them up where the corners are basically touching each other. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is grab my straight edge. If you have a ruler, it's even better. But I'm going to draw a line underneath each of these corners. So I'm going to do this for each one, and then I will come back on camera in just a minute. All right, so I'm back. It wasn't very easy because my piece of paper was lighter. If you have construction paper, it might be a lot easier to draw this because the paper is a little heavier to line up your corners and draw underneath them. But I was able to draw a straight line underneath each of my corners. It doesn't matter which direction my corners are lying. They don't have to be lying flat on the paper. It might be off to an angle. But either way, I was able to draw a straight line under each of these particular angle. So let's remove these corners and let's make an observation about each of these straight lines. So let's see if you remember from previous math classes, how many degrees does a straight line or a straight angle measure? Well, if you remember, or if you don't know, a straight line or a straight angle measures 180 degrees. So this is a straight line as well. This is a straight angle. It doesn't matter that it's laying in a different direction. It's still 180 degrees. Same with this one, 180 degrees. If you notice, I was able to draw a straight line under each of these groups of corners. So what did we learn here? So what this is explaining what the triangle sum theorem means. What this basically means is any triangle, doesn't matter what type of triangle it is, all three of its inside or interior angles will always add up to be 180 degrees. The measure of all three of those angles when you add them up has to be 180 degrees. So this is kind of an important skill, and this is something that would help you solve problems that are involving triangles. But I wanted to show you why it was this way. No matter what triangle you draw, all three of those corners should form an 180 degree angle. If they don't, then the shape is not a triangle. So I hope this little experiment helped you to better understand the triangle sum theorem, and happy learning.